Yes, I'd like to know if Keith Timmons is there, please.
What are you doing?
I'm just finding out if Victoria went to see Keith or not.
She already said she would. I'm not going to let you harass her.
She only said that to get me off her back or to get the earrings back. I think she's more than content to let you take the responsibility for what happened to Katie. And if you give me the phone, I will prove it to you.
You know, Eden, Keith is my problem, and I have managed to deal with him for many years before you came into my life.
Oh, yeah, you did just fine. It broke up your marriage. It sent your wife into a mental institution. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Keith plays rougher than you do.
That's no excuse for you to play that way. Now, Tori said she would do the right thing. I know the kind of guilt she's carrying around, and believe me, it's a great motivator.
I'm sorry, but I don't think her guilt is real. She uses it to keep people interested in her. She wears it like the world's most expensive perfume. Well, I'm not impressed.
You didn't hear me, Eden. I said no.
Will you just get out of my way,
Lily,
please?
will you just calm down?
I'm not going to share an apartment or anything else with a man who would sleep with Gina Capwell.
Well, if you'll stop being morally outraged and keep still for a minute, I can explain.
No, you can't. I'm the one you can never explain it to, remember?
First of all, I didn't sleep with Gina yesterday, which took considerable ingenuity, believe me. All I did was try to ply her with my dubious favors in an attempt to get that tape.
Yeah, right, for your little sister Kelly.
What I found out was that I'm powerless against Gina. As incredible as it seems, I'm beginning to think that the whole town may be powerless against Gina. She's like the beast who ate Santa Barbara.
That's ridiculous. None of you have to back down to her.
Well, that's what I kept saying, and then it occurred to me. Yes, it is ridiculous. Solution's been right under my nose, and I didn't even see it. Because there is someone with untold, untapped power over Gina. Intense, emotional power. The best kind. And it's you, Lily.
Hey, why don't you leave them well enough alone? You've done your trick. You've destroyed their marriage, darling. Let them stew.
Why don't you just get out of my way? Look, I have a wedding to plan. My wedding to CC. Your job was finished when those documents were drawn up and made airtight. And once they were signed, well, you became excess baggage. So why don't you be a good little suitcase and either stand around and watch the proceedings or trot on home to your apartment and you can hear about it on the 11 o'clock news.
You know, I don't think I like the way you're talking to me. I'm going to be legal counsel for the Capwells, darling.
Oh, that's right, you are. I'll have to buy you a big red nose and a funny hat you can wear while you're doing it. Ah! You don't seem to understand. I'm the one with all the power now, Keith. That's right. You're going to be listening to me from now on, Mr. Legal Counsel. Good morning. You must be new here. I have some very important matters I need to discuss with Cece.
Cece, it comes down to this. If we do not get the tape from Gina in the allotted time, you have to marry her.
Sophia.
We said we would make any sacrifice we could for Kelly.
Absolutely not. I will not marry that woman. If I didn't have you to consider, I still wouldn't marry that woman. I'm going to get that tape. I will find that tape. This next couple of weeks is going to be like a reprieve to me, and I'm not going to waste 1 second of it.
Is this little confab going to go on much longer?
What the hell are you doing in my bedroom?
I think they could probably hear that all the way down at the stable, Cece. He's gotten much grouchier since he's been with you. Get out of our bedroom. Our bedroom, is it? Well, that's exactly what I came here to discuss. Your living arrangement, Sophia. I want you packed it out of here right now. It's all here in black and white. Everything we agreed upon is spelled out. So don't carry on like we haven't discussed it.
I'd say good morning, but it doesn't look like you'd agree.
I was just on my way to a the nearest pier. I'd like to be buried at sea.
Oh, well, why don't you stay and have some breakfast first? You don't want to die on an empty stomach, do you?
No.
Have some coffee at least. Now, where were you really going?
Home. Look, I owe you an apology for last night. I'm sorry I passed out on you. I guess I was a little out of control.
More than just a little. The night before was worse, actually.
The night before?
Yeah, well, you came in late and then you slept late. And then you got up and you went out for a little while, but then you came back in the same condition. This is actually the morning after the morning after.
Oh, no. Whole day, I don't even remember. Oh, I have to get home.
No, everything's okay. Marissa's watching Johnny, and I told her I'd look after you. Now, it's not okay to be walking around unconscious.
Yeah, I never thought. Oh, man.
Here. I have some of this. It may help.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I picked this up for you. I thought maybe you'd like to know what was going on in the world yesterday. Especially on the society page.
So they canceled the wedding, did they?
Yeah, no one seems to know exactly why.
Maybe CC found out how fickle Sophia can be, or vice versa. I don't give a damn about the Capos. Whatever misery comes their way, they deserve it. Won't be their last.
Brick. Look. Come on. Why don't we sit down? Please. Okay?
Yeah.
Here. I want to tell you something that I discovered. You try to get down in the gutter with these people. You're never going to win your battles. Look at me. I tried to fight on their level, and I nearly destroyed myself. So you know what I did? I went to Cece, and I apologized to him.
I bet he ate that, huh?
No. It threw him completely off balance. I used a civil and a responsible approach, and you know what the result was? He acknowledged that I have the right to visit Brandon.
So tell him that's easy for you. I mean, Brandon's there for the taking. I'm not going to get Amy back, am I?
No. But you can get your self-respect back. Isn't that something, too?
I wish you would hold still and listen to me. I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for everybody.
What is that piece of paper you're waving in my face, Gina?
Well, you see, it's a statement that I had drawn up. I know how awkward it's going to be for you to announce that the wedding's called off in public. And I know it's going to be difficult for Sophia, too. So I've taken both of your feelings into consideration. You don't have to say the statement word for word, but you should stay within the general guidelines.
You're such a generous soul. What is it you've decided you want me to say?
Well, I think the most plausible excuse would be a problem with Armonti Industries. That way Sophia could leave town gracefully and go back to Italy. Then after the 4-week delay that you've insisted upon, you could admit that, well, you've had a growing interest in me and that we are engaged and we have a future wedding plans.
I really think I'm going to be sick.
Now, the wedding, now that's really going to be something. Not like that tacky little affair you had set up in the gazebo yesterday. No, it's going to have size and scope.
Size and scope were the same thing, Gina.
I just mean it's going to be big, that's all. And we can honeymoon in Paris. Ah, Paris in April. How romantic.
I really don't think they'll even do April in Paris in November for you, Gina.
You're so negative,
You
Sophia.
do realize I'm going to spend every waking moment trying to get out of this arrangement, don't you?
Of course I do. I know the only reason you insisted on a 4-week delay is so you can look for that tape. Well, I've got it someplace very, very safe. The same way I'm going to have Sophia someplace safe.
She's not going anywhere. She's staying right here. She's certainly not going to Italy.
She isn't?
No, she isn't. She's going to stay here with her children, where she belongs.
Oh, come on. Don't give me that. You don't want her around because of the kids. You want to have your fill of Sophia before the wedding takes place and the document goes into effect. Oh, well, I'm not going to stand for that. But I'm not merciless. No, I think that maybe Sophia could stay in the guest house. I'd be willing to let her do that.
Oh, would you?
I'm supposed to be pleased by that.
Yes, I think you should learn to say please and thank you, and words like that will come in very handy in the future. Well, I have to be going, but I'll be back as soon as Brandon gets home from school. Oh, I almost forgot to give you the statement. Oh, Cece, don't tear it up in little pieces. You're going to have to do a lot to keep me happy if you ever want to see Kelly again.
This is the most corrupt, immoral kind of blackmail I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, it isn't blackmail. Call it self-preservation and a way of getting back a little bit of what's mine.
Blackmailers always like to call what they do by another name.
Okay, so what if it is blackmail? And maybe not the perfect basis for a marriage. I think Cece's gonna fall in love with me again. Because you both know that there's a fine line between love and hate.
It makes perfect sense. What you are, in effect, is Gina's Achilles heel, one she doesn't even know she has. I just wish I'd realized that before all the trouble started.
You shut up. Just please shut up. I don't have any power over Gina. Unless you consider hatred a power over someone.
That's an interesting philosophical question.
Well, then just think about it, but don't talk about it. Remember that hatred is the only thing Gina and I have in common.
Assuming that's true, you can still get that tape for me. The main reason you came to Santa Barbara was to wreak havoc in Gina's life, right?
Pretty much.
Well, now's your chance. What you have is an emotional machine gun. If you use it properly, you can cut her to ribbons with it.
That's a frightening way to put it.
Well, it's what you want, isn't it? All you have to do is calculate your steps. That's where I'll come in handy. First, we'll turn her upside down emotionally, and then shake her until that tape falls out. The first thing you have to do is tell her the truth about you. And then you have to worm your way into her confidence.
Oh, and I suppose you know how I'm going to do that, too.
Yeah. You'll play on her guilt and her sympathy. Then once she's learned to trust you and need someone to confide in, voila. There you'll be.
No, I won't. I don't want her confidence. There's no way I could ever pretend to be her friend. I hate her. And if the truth comes out, that's what I'm going to tell her.
Fine. But precious little satisfaction it'll give you. Nobody ever got the better of Gina by talking mean to her. What you have is a chance to thwart her fondest wish, her main ambition in life. Now fume if you want to, Lily. But I don't think you can pass it up.
Yes, I had the opportunity, but I didn't tell Keith.
And why not?
Because I didn't know what to tell him.
Why don't you just tell him the whole story?
Because there's more to the whole story than what happened that day. It wasn't just the fact that I didn't tell the lifeguard that I didn't think that Katie was in danger. I have to ask myself if I really wanted to hurt her by forcing her to see me and Cruz together.
Well, I think that's obvious. You lured her out there to see the two of you together. What? No, if we're going to talk about telling the truth here, then let's tell it.
All I wanted to show her that day, I just wanted her to face the facts. The same thing that you guys are telling me right now. And I have the feeling that you're trying to hurt me, although you would probably deny it. You see, it's not so simple. Before I go to Keith and accept responsibility, I need to know what I am accepting responsibility for.
I think if you just told him the whole story, that would be enough for Keith.
It's not enough for me.
What about the earrings?
They're in a safe place.
Well, you know you're in sole possession of the only concrete piece of evidence.
Which you gave to her, if I'm not mistaken?
On faith, with the understanding that she got you into this and she would get you out of it. Now, who is going to accept responsibility, Victoria?
Eden, will you please stop pressing
No,
this?
I will not. Not when it creates the kind of strain that's been happening between the two of us. You don't know what Keith has done. Now, who is responsible for that, Victoria?
I told you I'd go to Keith, and I will.
I am not about to stand by and let Tori shoulder this thing by herself. Now, if you want to put yourself in charge of cleaning Katie's accounts all down the line, that's fine, but I am going to be involved.
You didn't do anything.
Exactly. I was there, I saw what happened, I didn't do anything. I kept my mouth shut, I told her to do the same. That means I am equally guilty, both morally and in the eyes of the law. If she goes to Keith, I go to Keith.
No. You already told me that some charges could be brought against
Eden,
you.
that didn't seem to bother you a few minutes ago. You talk about people facing facts, face that one.
Keith would ruin your whole career. If he could throw you in jail, he would.
What do you think I've been trying to tell you?
The whole idea was just to get him off our backs.
That was part of the idea. That's the part you like. The rest of it follows whether you like it or not. And since you're obviously completely bent on making this thing happen, let's get it done.
Are you going to let him do this?
I don't want him involved, no.
And wait a second. Are you going to tell me you'd rather go to Keith and talk to him alone instead of with me there by your side?
I think I can answer that for her.
I want to go alone.
I'm not going to let you. And I don't believe you. You meet me at the Orient Express at 6. I'll make sure Keith is there.
You sure?
End of conversation.
Please don't do this. This isn't what I wanted.
What you wanted was to end it. And that's exactly what I am doing.
Why, Santana, dear, do come in. It's been ages.
Hello, Santana. Sophia, I heard about the wedding being canceled. I was so shocked.
Yes, everyone was shocked.
Why don't you tell her why the second happiest day in your life had to be canceled?
Why don't you just shut up? Sophia has a business crisis with Amante Industries. We've decided to delay the wedding.
Delay it? That's not what I heard.
That's what I want.
The wedding has been postponed indefinitely.
Excuse me.
What's going on?
You heard him.
Yes, I did, but it's highly unlikely that they cancel the wedding for business reasons.
Unlikely things happen all the time,
I
Santana.
thought that they were so much in love that nothing could come between them.
Well, maybe they weren't as in love as everybody thought. After all, they are a little old to be Romeo and Juliet. So what's with you? You haven't even tried to insult me yet.
I really don't see how anything could be gained by that.
Well, it's never stopped you before. What are you doing here anyway?
Came to see Brandon. Is he here?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think that'll be possible.
What do you mean, not possible? Cece gave me permission.
Well, Cece's changed his mind. He's going to be changing his mind about a lot of things these days. And you're going to have to deal with me. Because I'm the power behind the throne now. Maybe even in front of it.
Hi, Mom.
Hello, darling.
How come you're here?
Well, to see you. Why else? Look who's just leaving.
Santana.
Hello, handsome. How is school?
Now, Brandon, don't get Santana in any long conversations. She can't stay.
Right now really isn't the best time, sweetheart, but I'll be back later, okay?
Tonight? And we can watch TV?
No, I don't think that'll be possible. Santana's a very busy woman. She doesn't have time for that.
Now, I always have time for you, sweetheart. You know that, don't you?
Brandon, why don't you go see if you can find the cook and ask her to fix us a little snack?
Oh, sure, Mom. Bye, Santana.
I'll see you later, sweetheart. Now, I'll be going. But I know that there's something very wrong here. And I'm not going to drop it until I find out what.
Oh, you're a great one for hanging on to things, aren't you, Santana? Like Cruz and Keith. Maybe you were a bulldog in a former life.
You're not going to force me into a fight, Gina. Not yet, you won't.
I'd offer to buy you dinner, but since my largesse has dwindled, I can't do it. I'm unemployed, dear.
Were you looking for me?
Oh, looking for you always, listening for you, sniffing for you. Come on. I got something I need to see. Come on.
What is it?
Please, sit down. Sit.
What is it?
It's, Katie's diary. I thought it might give you some interesting insights into Mr. Castillo, the man you're intent on defending.
I don't want to see this.
Oh, yes, you do. Yeah, you do. You want to listen to this. You want to know what's happening, huh? What he was doing to my sister while you were wedding rings, waiting to make your dramatic re-entrance, huh? Let me read you an excerpt.
I don't want to hear any of her private thoughts.
This is important. Listen to this. Dear Diary, I was with Cruz again tonight. I've never known anyone like him. His slightest touch makes me happy, and even without that, even just seeing him across the room makes my heart beat faster. But tonight, he was so sweet, so warm, so passionate. My reaction exactly. Here it is. That's the man you're defending. Why? He's trying to get Eden to shift the blame to you. I don't believe them. But I will believe you. You've been carrying the torch too long, Victoria.
Sophia, will you stop this? You are not going anywhere.
For heaven's sakes. You heard her. We have no options. We're doing this for Kelly. Don't make it any harder than it
I don't
already
believe
is.
this is happening. I just don't believe it.
we can bring Kelly home. If we can clear her, then it's worth it. Do you think that I feel good about your being with Gina? Cece, just promise me one thing. Promise me that you will never turn your back on her. No, I'm serious. I mean it. You can't be too careful with her. There is nothing that woman isn't capable of doing.
All right. Listen, I won't turn my back. But you and I, we will continue to see each other and be with each other and love each other no matter what the hell is going on.
See, how? She's going to be staring at us, looking at us all the time, all ready to invoke her threats and her penalties.
I don't really care.
I can't. She's going to walk in this room any minute and catch us. I don't feel safe. I'm sorry. I'm leaving.
All right.
I can take it myself.
Oh, I wish we had someone to help you out with that. I keep telling Cece we're terribly understaffed. You know, it seems like a waste to send all these wedding presents back. I think I'll just change the tags and Cece and I can keep them. Here, let me show you to the door.
I wish I could give you an idea how completely I despise you.
I think I can guess. Probably as much as I despised you the night that Cece threw me out of here without a stitch of clothing on.
You got exactly what you deserved. And point in fact, you took your clothes off yourself. No one asked you to, which I understand is just a reflex of yours.
I want you to understand how it feels to be degraded, Sophia. To have everything stripped from you that you have ever loved. When I had to give Brandon up, I thought I was going to die. So while you're down in that guest house, clinging to the idea that you might someday get Cece back, maybe you'll have some inkling of how I have felt the entire last year.
Mom, I'm ready to go.
Oh, sweetheart, don't you look handsome? Everybody's going to be jealous of my date.
Ready to go where?
Didn't you ask Dad if we can go out to dinner?
Oh, I'm sure he'll say it's all right. Your father never says no to me. Come on, say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, son.
Oh, I talked to Sophia about those wedding gifts. She said we can just change the tags and keep them. Let's go.
What are you doing? I thought that after our talk this morning you would
Watching
stop with...
her. Looking at her. A person can look at another person.
Well, it is the way you're looking at her.
Maybe impolite. Wishing someone dead isn't against the law, is it?
Let's go.
Hi, Santana.
Hi, sweetheart.
Mom, can we sit over there?
Sure, we can sit any place you like. So much fun being out with you again. You don't know how much I've missed you, Brandon.
I've missed you too.
But we're not going to have to miss each other anymore. Now everything is going to be different now. And I'm going to make up for all that lost time. I just hope that you don't feel that I ever deserted you. I would never do that to the little boy I love so much.
I know. You told me you didn't have a place for me to stay.
Well, that's all changed now. Because I'm going to be moving back home. And we're going to be doing lots of things together. And I'm going to be the best mommy in the whole wide world. Ow! Just a minute, I'll be right back. Lily, what is going on? You know, Keith told me that you broke into my apartment. What do you want? What were you doing standing there behind me?
I think it is beneath contempt for you to lie to a child.
I beg your pardon?
I heard what you said to Brandon. That trusting little boy. Lisa, Gina, you can never be a mother to him. You don't even know how to be a decent person. How are you going to be a mother?
What are you teed off about me and Mason?
Don't flatter yourself that I'm jealous over you. I wouldn't want to be like you, ever.
I'm just trying to figure out the reason for this ridiculous outburst. What is it with you? Why are you so upset?
So what if I'm upset?
Why do you care about Brandon's welfare all of a sudden? What does he mean to you?
It's not Brandon. It's that you're...
Miss Lane.
Yes.
There's a call for you at the bar.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes.
Tori, it's me. I'm going to be a little late. I'm sorry, I got hung up here.
Yeah, I figured you'd have a little difficulty after I left.
Oh, never mind that. I left a message for Keith to meet us there in half an hour.
You know, I ran into him earlier, but I wasn't sure whether or not you'd spoken to him.
You didn't tell him?
No, you told me to wait, so that's what I did.
Well, good. Just stick around. I'll see you in a few minutes, okay?
I can't believe you won't listen to me.
Well, I can't believe you won't listen to me.
You want to grab a hold of this so bad that you're willing to risk everything for Victoria's dishonesty, and then you tell me I'm being insecure? Well, you must like me being insecure because you sure do try darn hard to keep me that way.
You know, Eden, you demand the impossible, and then when you don't get it, you take it as a proof that something is wrong with us. I mean, you invent threats to this relationship out of thin air. It's like you don't want it to work. Is that it? You have some kind of latent death wish where we're concerned?
No.
Well, that's how it looks to me. The minute things are perfect, the minute everything is okay, you find a way to make them un-okay. I want you to do something for me. I want you to stop thinking of me like I was your parents.
My parents don't have anything
Your
to do
mother
with this.
left. Your father sent you away. But believe it or not, I'm not going to do either one of those things.
I will not stand here and be analyzed by you. That is not the problem here.
It's part of the problem. And the rest of it is that you have been unfairly saddled with something ugly and dangerous from my life before I met you, which has resurrected in you your childhood fears of abandonment. Now, I am sorry, but all I am doing now is what you have been after me to do since the moment Victoria Lane hit town. Get her away from us, keep her away. That means breaking a bond, which is all I am trying to do.
So what's going to happen to us when Keith gets through with you?
Well, you know, maybe you should have thought of that before you pushed her into a corner. Did you actually think I was going to stand by and let her do this alone?
Oh, that's it, huh? I get punished now, right? It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about Tori.
Don't start. I have no choice but to do this the way I'm going about
it. Oh, now that's the issue, isn't it? It's all about your macho pride and this overpowering sense of honor, isn't it? You've got to go out there and you've got to do this for Victoria. You've got to do it for your past. Well, you want to know something? I wish you'd be a little more human and a little less perfect. And the whole world would be a better place for all of us. You are not going to leave me because you're not going to get the chance.
No, you should have heard the way she sounded, not just smug. She always manages to sound smug. It's just that she sounded so... I don't know, superior. I don't know what to call it. Oh, I wish I knew what was going on in that house. You know, she's holding something over Cece.
Aren't you the one that's always trying to calm me down?
It's just driving me crazy. You know, there's got to be something more than just some little problem in Armandi Industries. You know, I have a feeling that she has some sort of a death grip on Cece. On the both of them. I wish I knew who to ask. I wish I knew how to find out.
Look what happened to all that happy talk this morning about treating them with civility and killing them with kindness.
I hate people who give advice. Next time, just tell me to shut up. You know, I have a feeling that this is the first time that you've smiled in a long time.
Yeah. I was watching Lily's face today. She smiles. I just love that angelic look of hers, those big understanding eyes.
You know, she and Gina seem to be very similar in that respect. I can remember the first time that I met Gina. How can I believe that she was my friend once? I thought that she was my friend. You know, that they should have some sort of a law that says that you should behave the way you really are.
Maybe, but we're not, are we? And look at us. I never thought of myself as a man that would be consumed with getting even.
Well, I don't see myself that way either. Here we are, talking about nothing else.
Wanting justice is different.
Is it? I seem to think that it's Just a nicer word for the same thing. Well, what good is it anyway if it just destroys us in the process?
We just have to make sure it won't.
So, you ready?
No. Does it really matter? I saw Keith, I forgot to tell you, and he had Katie's diary. He read me a portion of it. It was about you. He really hates you.
All the more reason to make him understand how and why this happened. If we can just break through, if we could get him to see how pointless it is to try and blame somebody, maybe we can all find a little peace.
Peace. To think that I could have driven a woman to endanger her life like that, it's just too awful for me to even want to think about it.
Given the circumstances, it's not so hard to understand. I don't think he'll have a problem with it if he's honest.
Well, let's you and I be honest too, okay? You're not here for me, or for Keith, or even so much for the guilt. You're here to protect your relationship with Eden.
That too.
Only that, I think.
Only that?
Yes, I think that you volunteered to be here because you, like Eden, didn't think that I could make my way through this. But it's okay. I just think that we should both understand why you were here.
Well, I'm afraid you're mistaken about that, Tori.
And I'm afraid of a lot of things, too. And it's not so much the guilt. And it's not so much that I have to face Keith. It's more the loss.
The loss of what?
I am about to lose the only thing in my entire life that I have ever really wanted.
I don't know, baby. I don't have any startling new advice for you, except you can't walk away from a man you're always going to love. Sometimes I just don't think I can stay and deal with it. You have to. You have to find a way. Look at me. Look at me. I'm separated from Cece and I'm miserable. That's something I don't understand. What's happening with you and Daddy? I mean, I know it has something to Gina. What has she done?
I don't want to talk to you about it, but I can't because there's too much at stake. But I will tell you this, that I should have stopped Gina. I should have fought her a lot harder from the very beginning and maybe wouldn't have gone this far. I knew she was petty and I knew she was vindictive, but boy, I really underestimated how dangerous she is. Eden, you've got to fight for Cruz. Fight for him, not against him.
And I know sometimes you do one thing when you mean to do the other, but don't drive him away. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. You know, I swear up and down that I'm not going to say something, and then it ends up being the first thing I say. Cruz says I'm self-destructive, Mama. Maybe I am. Don't let him be right. You can stop it. I know you can. Whatever you do, don't lose him.
I wish you'd tell me what happened and why you're so upset.
You were right about all of it.
I'm always right. It's a curse, but about what, Gina?
I saw her at the Orient Express with Brandon. After listening to everything she was saying to him, I just wanted to grab her and tell her.
But you didn't.
No, of course not.
What did she say to him that upset you so much?
Oh, maternal things. Like what a wonderful mother she was going to be. How much fun they were going to have. She was smiling and petting him. There's one thing I've always wanted in my life, Mason. And that's to have two arms around me, just to hold me. Rock me to sleep at night. And I could have had that. Oh, forget it. What's the use?
Lily, forget what I want. I think the time has come for you to let go of the secret.
No. I should have never come to Santa Barbara. It was all a mistake. Don't answer that. It's Gina.
How do you know?
Because at the restaurant when we saw each other, there was something in my face I couldn't hide. I know she saw it.
I think you're being very fanciful.
I hate it when you don't listen to me. Just don't tell her I'm here.
Hello, Mason.
Well, Gina, what can I do for you?
Is Lily here? I'd like to see her.
Why do you want to see her?
What are you, her social secretary?
More like an offensive tackle. I'm running interference for her. So if you'd like to see her, you have to tell me why.
Well, I ran into Lily today, and she said something. Well, it's not so much what she said. It's the way she looked at me. It was so strange, like she was about to give something away. And then she laid into me for no reason at all. And I always knew there was something vicious behind that sweet facade, but there's more to it than that. What is she, Mason? I mean, besides just a screwed-up kid.
She's in there. Why don't you go on in?
Come inside. Darling, don't you realize we have to work around this? We can't just give in to it.
Can't work around it. Unless we get the tape from Gina, we have to do everything she says. I've made a couple calls. I think I can get my apartment back.
Why the hell would you want to do that? Then you're farther away from me than ever.
Because it's a lot better than staying at the guest house.
What is wrong with you? Don't you know that I need you? I can't do any of this stuff without you near me.
It's a lot worse for me if I stay here.
Worse than being on the other side of town? It's worse?
Yes, because then I don't have to look up at this house, at your bedroom, and want to be there with your arms around me.
Oh, baby, come on.
We denied everything, didn't we? Denied each other, held back to wait for our wedding night. And for what? Oh, I can't tell you how much I wanted you to love me in our room and in our bed.
That's what we're gonna do, damn it. And to hell with Gina, and to hell with the rest of them. There. I love you. And nothing and no one will come between that again.
I have had it with you. You have been a thorn in my side for too long.
Then just leave. Get out of here while you still have a chance.
Oh, is that some kind of a threat, Lily? Well, I've tried turning my back on you, but that doesn't get rid of you. As a matter of fact, I've tried everything, and nothing works. Every time I turn around, there you are.
Yeah, just like your conscience.
Oh, I am so sick of this righteous crock of your... Oh, what are you doing here? Ever since you came to town, the only thing you've tried to do is drag me down. And then when I saw you in the restaurant today, that look you gave me, it sent a chill down my spine.
You don't have a spine, Gina, so I wouldn't worry about it.
It's not an accident, is it? You're being here, you're looking like me.
No, it's fate. It's a curse. It's a curse that I have your face.
Well, then why don't you do something about it? I mean, I have plastic surgery. Change it if you don't like my face so much.
You have so many faces, Gina. Wouldn't it be easier if you just switched over to another one?
Oh, I'm so sick of you pretending like you know me so well. You don't know anything about me. And this mumbo-jumbo you're always spouting off about trying to save me. You don't want to save me. You want to destroy me, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Oh, I'm glad you're finally being honest about it. But now that you have everything out in the open, why don't you tell me why?
Why? Because of what you've done to me.
What are you talking about? Are you crazy? I haven't done anything to you.
You're a liar! You've known from the first moment that you set eyes on me! And then you heaped all this abuse on top of it, all along with all the other things you've done.
What are you talking to me? You talking about Mason?
Why don't you just stop playing stupid and admit it?
I don't know what you're talking about. Admit what? That I am your daughter! You pitiful, ridiculous, warped little girl. What kind of garbage is this?
I don't believe this. You're gonna lie too about this?
Me? You did this. You wanted this to happen. Did you? Is that what this is all about? The two of you are in this whopper together? Oh, I might have known. Tell her! Yes, tell me, Mason. Is this some kind of bizarre plot you've dreamed up? Some grand scheme to make me think I'm going crazy?
Gina, Lily maintains that what she's telling you is true.
Well, because it is. Lily maintains that her whole life is guided by an inner light bulb. What, if you've blown some kind of fuse or something? You must have if you think I'm going to fall for this kind of garbage. Come off it. What do you really want?
Nothing from you.
It's the deal I have with Cece, isn't it? You two think you're going to con me into backing out of it. That's it. Well, you're not. You can forget about that, both of you.
You deceitful, lying, two-faced whore. I've never met such a heartless scum. How dare you? How dare you desert me and do it now by denying it? I'm going to hate you for as long as you live, even after that while you're burning in hell.
Tonight, the last meal, the final cigar, then the execution of the A-Team.